let's build a full stack with a mobile application NX project. So we'll start by doing npx create NX workspace. We'll use the latest version and we'll call it my awesome project. So we start creating it, and when we start, it asks us what what to create first in our workspace. We can choose various options, for instance React Native or React Express. We can choose React Express because we want to have an API ready to go. So let's do that. It's going to ask us, so we're going to do the winning project, of course, because it's going to win the hackathon. And we can choose any CSS system. We'll choose SAS, don't want cloud, and it starts installing. Because it's going to take a while, just fast forward. We just cd into my awesome project, and inside we're gonna have a few folders and files. The most important is the apps, where we have our apps. This is our API, which is the Express server. You can see the main and the main gateway here. And we also have the winning project, which is a React application. We're going to start the server first, so it's going to be yarn start API. And it's running our server on 333 API, and we're going to run our UI in a different terminal, so it's going to be yarn start winning project. It's going to start up our React application, and it did. So we'll go to this address, and welcome to winning project. Welcome to API, and this is what we get from the server actually. If we take a look at our source, so this is the fetch. It fetches from the API, and this is how you can develop the server and the API and the front end at the same time. Now, there are plenty of plugins for NX. You can use Angular, Vue, or whatever. Let's quickly see how we set up React Native application. So we'll just do yarn add -d. That will put it in dev dependencies. narwhal / React Native, just as simple as that. Now that it's done installing React Native, we're going to quickly add NX to our script if it doesn't exist. So we'll be able to run NX commands, and now we're going to do yarn NX React Native application. Oh, sorry, I forgot to add the G for generate. So it's going to generate narwhal React Native application. The name of the application is, of course, winning mobile app, or let's say mobile winning project. So it's going to install that, and we'll be back shortly. And it now created our mobile winning project, which we can run just as we've ran the other two. So if we go back to where we ran this API, we just get out of it, and now we just do yarn NX run Android, for instance, Android and mobile winning project. And it's gonna spin up the Android development mode in the Android emulator. So here's our app, and we can actually edit this app pretty easily. Let's go to this. You find our HTML, you're up and running, and let's change this to, let's say, hello, welcome mobile e-winning project. So let's search for welcome. We like welcome you. We'll save it, and it updated automatically in the application. You can close this and do the same for iOS. Okay, we can also create libraries and components. For instance, we can create a new React component by running yarn nx narwhal React component and set the project to be winning project. So it's gonna create a React component there. Got the G again. So generate a React component. What's the name of the component? Let's say header. And should this component be exported in the project? Let's say no. And it just creates the component inside our app. Let's say we have this winning project source app header, and we have a new component. Another thing we can do is create shared libraries. Let's say we want to create a library that is being used both in Node and in R. It's going to be an interface library or any class that does any service that can be used anywhere. So we can just yarn nx generate narwhal Node library. And as usual, it's gonna ask you for the name, so we're gonna do, let's say shared interface, and shared interface is gonna show up in the libraries folder. So I already have a library, API interfaces, which we're using, so you can look at that. But let's say I created something else, and I can also create a React app, let's say a React library or a React Native library. And if I do that, let's say native header, and it's going to create a native header just for me that is a React Native ready to go app. So just add my content here. So if we go to Narwhal plugins page, there are tons of plugins for it, but so you can look at all of these API reference. So you can have Jest and React in Angular, and Storybook, Cypress, Express, Node, Nest, Next, Gatsby, and all that stuff. I also have community libraries. So we go for community libraries, which is here. Community plugins. So let's head over to the plugins, and you can look all of these plugins, AWS CDK, you can have even Go, methinks, you can have NX Go, you can have lots of stuff in it. So all that's left to you is just spin up a project and start working. Happy hackathoning!